Hey, it's me again, Spellweaver, with another update on Alchemist. You've probably seen me release a video with soundtrack that really recomposed for the main menu. You can check it out if you wish, and it's what you hear on the background right now. For now, we only have soundtrack for menu, but we plan to have both music and sounds for the whole game. Let's get to the updates. The old message log was haunting me since the game's creation. I didn't really hate it, but it was made as placeholder just to have some interactivity in the earliest version, and stuck since then. UI hints are a little different. I designed them back then to fit the old log without much thought, and now they get really obsolete. Now both are changed, hopefully for the better. Log takes a more reasonable amount of horizontal space for the average message length, and fits more messages. It also scrolls now, and messages fade away gradually. Icons now take a lot less space, they are transparent and colored in the same style as inventory, and also clickable, though I still recommend keyboard controls over mouse. I've added similar icons to other screens as well. Now we also have area transitions. Screen fades out to black and back in, instead of you just teleporting between areas immediately. Also, interaction with ladders now has an added animation of walking to the ladder. Those UI updates might be great news for some, but they are by far the least important part, because now we have not just NPCs, but friendly NPCs who are able to talk. Meet Ricardo, the honest, law-abiding barkeep who has nothing to do with shady business, like providing a place for wanted criminals, like our protagonist, or buying stolen goods, like our old equipment. There is now a passage from the cellar of the tavern to the main floor. It's a whole new area, not large, but with a lot of new objects to interact with, also some new items with minor effects to take from the storeroom. It also has lighting changed with the time of the day, since it's mostly lit by windows. And when it gets dark, the torches are lit instead. Tavern is an area where your actions are restricted. You can't go around throwing explosive potions or hitting people. I will maybe relax the restriction at some point, but now I'm just not ready to provide a proper consequence for people essentially destroying their own hideout or angering, let alone killing its owner. As I mentioned, Ricardo can talk. When you first pass through the underground tunnel into the tavern cellar, you don't have an access to your room yet, and your character doesn't even know that his tools are there. Instead, you walk out and are greeted by Ricardo. Now you can learn the story, if you are interested. You were accused of black magic and arrested by the church, but then miraculously got away with the help of the devil himself. Ricardo explains that it's too risky for you to go out into the streets now, but you don't have to. The boys have already gotten into your abandoned house and brought him everything that seemed valuable, including your tools, which he is willing to give back to you. Of course, you owe him now, but that still beats burning on the stake. After this dialogue, you are free to visit your new home, but you can also talk to Ricardo some more and ask some questions. What you aren't allowed to do is to leave through the front door, and Ricardo will repeatedly stop you if you try. Most of the tutorial pop-ups that were in the game before are now changed into dialogues, and your game no longer starts with the text welcoming you. Instead is the devil leaving you under the lonely tree and thanking you for making the deal, giving you your infernal contract. It's a new kind of item, a text which you can read. When I add the live system, this one will also serve as the counter of sorts. Now your character tries to explain the required actions in in-game terms, which may or may not be easier to understand than me telling you how to play, but it's likely a little more immersive. The introduction is otherwise mostly the same. You find the stash of torches, then the hidden entrance. Then you go visit Ricardo and get access to your room. After that, you can have your character talk about everything there is in the room to learn the functionality of different objects. You can also do the same crafting tutorial as before, instead this time with your character guiding you, or you can refuse it if you know how to do things already. The room is also different now. I tried to make it look like a place where you could live with relative comfort rather than just an empty cellar with alchemical tools. There is now a table, a stool, a bed where you can rest, and even a carpet on the floor. All of that is also flammable, and if you're a true madman you can burn your own place to ashes. After you finish the introduction and spoke to Ricardo at least once, you are free to skip it. In that case, the game will act as if you already opened the passage and spoke to Barkeep, and skip all the preceding dialogue. This will matter more when I add a longer introduction, where you are being chased by the church and meet the devil. So, this is it for this month. I'm glad to have you all here. Please consider subscribing if you're interested in future game updates, or downloading the demo. You can also donate me some money on my Ko-fi page if you're feeling overly generous. I also appreciate all kinds of feedback, including your comments. You can also subscribe to my Twitter if you're interested in smaller, more frequent updates. Thank you very much, and I'll see you next time.